I guess the best way to start is by letting you know that I didn't really have anybody telling me to get into the Bible or connect with somebody at church. There was no highs or no lows that were in my life. But last year, early July, my life changed forever. It was greatly impacted by just an event that I come to realize now is Jesus had a plan for me, just like all of us. Before that day on July 11th, throughout my life, I was born and raised Catholic, went to Catholic school all the way up till I was a junior in high school. I went to local community college, studied, hung out with friends, went out on the weekends, did everything that I thought was what the world was for me to do. Married, children, had a home, 2 dogs, good job, everything was good, everything was fine. I've had my problems, just like everyone else. Things are always good and bad on a daily basis, but we get through it. But I was living in the world, and I wasn't in conflict with anything within myself because I thought that I was okay. I was going to church, and the reason why I went to church, that I started going to heritage about 3 years ago, is because, you know, I enjoy listening to messages, but we have children, young children, and so there's a place, you know, the children's ministry for the kids to go. Yeah, I was going to church, but I mean, I didn't give my life to Christ. I was just showing up every Sunday because it was the thing that families need to do on Sundays, you know. I thought I had it, you know, together, and I was pretty good, you know. I was, you know, a family man, went to work, you know, cookouts, and stayed home, and really didn't, you know. Yeah, I went to church. I often joke with my family and friends was, you know, the best part of the sermon is when, no matter where you're at, whether you're at a Catholic church or here at Heritage, you know, there's some inspiring word that John says, get up and go change the world. It's like, just makes my heart feel good, but then I don't go out and do anything. You know, it just feels good to go on and get out there, and it fills you up for that moment, and that's it. That week before I came to service last year, I remember being out with my wife, and I told her we had to get home early that night because I had to get to church. And we hadn't been to church. My wife and my children, we haven't been to church for a few weeks. And oftentimes we go to church, we sit in the back and we kind of receive the word, and you know, often, you know, before being a believer, it's kind of like you think about these things and you always say, okay, well, that person needs to hear that message, or another person that you know at work needs to hear that message. It was always like, okay, yeah, somebody else could use that word, but all along it was a word that I needed to receive. And I often times talk to Pastor John about it. I tell him, honestly, I don't know what the message was. I can't remember what he was saying, but at the end of the service, he talked about giving our life to Christ and living the life that he had always intended. And I remember closing my eyes and lifting my hand up and just feeling burdens and strongholds that were always part of my life just lifted. So, I mean, salvation to me and receiving Christ was very significant. I mean, there was just that moment in my life that I think that we all have it in our lives, that things happen where God puts things right in front of us that says, hey, you can look to me and I can help you with this. But you ignore it because you think you can do it on your own. And then just that moment, like I said, no highs, no lows. There was just something in my heart that says, you got to turn to me today. And that was it.